Okay, hello and welcome. My name is Katie. I am the Adult Services Librarian here at the Algoma Public Library. And today we are going to be talking about getting to know your Windows computer. This is a basic computer tutorial, and I am on a Windows 10 computer. So that means it's a newer model of Windows. There are various versions of Windows, such as Windows 8. There's an older version of 7. Sometimes there are a few older ones, such as XP or even Vista out there. But nowadays, most computers are either an 8 or a 10. So I am going to kind of walk through a couple main things that a lot of people kind of struggle with when they get a new computer and they just don't know what to do with a new computer. So if you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. You can either send me a message if you're watching it now, either on the Zoom or on Facebook Live. Feel free to make a comment on Facebook Live in the comment section. I have another computer up right next to me so I can see the comments there as well. It is not on the same computer that I'm showing you. So I am going to share a different screen now so we can show you a couple different things. All right. So there are a lot of different aspects to a computer that you might encounter. So the first thing you'll find out when you turn on your computer and it starts up after it's set up is you'll come to a desktop. And you will actually find that it might be a little daunting at times. So the desktop that we are looking at today is one of the library's computers, and it's a staff computer. So we actually have quite a bit of applications on here. So an application is a type of a program. So for example, I'm just going to drag a file, an application. So I have an example of an application here. My cursor, my mouse, it's this little arrow that's moving on the screen here in the center of my screen, is pointing at a program called Microsoft Teams. This is an application. So I am hovering my mouse over the application for Microsoft Teams, and it is on its shortcut. So a shortcut is an easier way of finding it on my desktop. I also have on my desktop here different files. So I have a document that was created at one point on different iPad apps that we have here for our iPads at the library that's saved to our desktop. That's right here. And then we have folders of different things. So we're going to start with a couple very basic things. Now you might wonder, how do I find different things on my computer? It's a very good question. On your computer, you're going to want to find your start menu. And on a newer computer version, such as 8 or 10, your start menu is going to be on the bottom corner, and it has like a little windows. So your little windows is right here. So it's got 4 squares and another square. So right down in this corner, lower left corner of your screen. This is your start. If I click it, it's going to pop open and it's going to give me a start tab. It's going to show a list of all the applications on my computer. And a lot of these programs were already preloaded on this computer. Some of these applications have been added onto the computer over time by staff. Some of them just are folders that were added by us. This section over here is something that came over after an update from Windows 8 to Windows 10. So Windows 8 was set up to look like a tablet. So this is just a way to have an icon type of app viewer. So you can pin your programs over here. And then this is kind of like a quick, easy access in your Start tab right here. You can even have like the dates here for me. And I have the news is here for me, which is linked to, looks like Microsoft News. And the weather must be the Weather Channel. And then I have staff is referring to a staff computer. Our documents is referring to all the documents on our computer. And then I have pictures. So any pictures that have been uploaded or downloaded to this computer, saved to this computer are on here, and settings. So we're going to go, so settings, and then of course your power button. So we'll talk about how you can turn on and shut down your computer in a little bit. So we'll come back to our power in a little bit. So we're going to go to this little section here that says settings, or it looks like a little piece of equipment, kind of like a tool, a little sprocket thing. So we're going to click on settings. And in here, we have a lot of different information that we can find out about our computer. So here, I want to show you a couple different things. There's some things I cannot show you just for confidentiality with our library, but there's some other great information in here that you will be able to see for your own personal use. So when you set up your computer or you want to adjust anything on your computer, you would come in here. So in settings, so this is all settings. We have the system, which is our display. These are all the different ways of how you can set up your display. So right now, our display is set so that it's set up in the recommended layout of landscape, recommended display resolution, so it's easier on our eyes. If you're very computer high tech, you can even have multiple computers hooked up into it, and you would go in here. A lot of times your computers will be defaulted for you automatically. From here, you can check out the sound. We're going to go into sound. You can check out your speakers from here. So right now, I don't have any other speakers plugged into my computer. I'm going entirely based on my regular speakers, the built-in speakers. So that's what this Realtek R audio is. I have a master volume right here that I can adjust here. I can also adjust my volume down here on my taskbar. See? Moving in two locations right now. I have a microphone right now. It looks like it's in Asian characters. This is my webcam that's in. So my webcam has a built-in microphone on it. Desktops don't necessarily always have a built-in webcam and microphone. Laptops will. So you can have that information in here. Right now we have a webcam that has a camera with a microphone plugged into a USB port right now. So that's why it is saying microphone and then this really long list of characters right here. And then it's showing that I can test my microphone. So as I'm talking, this bar is showing that there's audio, it's picking up audio right now. And then of course there's troubleshooting tips that you can follow that will either take you to online sources to help you, give you great ideas on how you can troubleshoot. Let's see, the other one I wanted to show you about. We'll go back to settings. If you're looking to set your time and date on your computer when you first get it, or say you move to a different area or you notice that your time is off, you can come in here and adjust it. So if you set this tab here to set time automatically, your computer will adjust automatically for you. You can even set it to set date and time manually. We choose to set it automatically, then we don't have to worry about it. You make sure you choose the correct time zone. So we have a lot of different time zones you can choose from. So you want to make sure you find your correct time zone. So we have Central Time, US, Canada. And we want to make sure that we're adjusting for daylight savings time because we are in a section of the United States that does follow daylight savings time. Not all sections of the United States follow daylight savings time. It's a good fact to know. There are a few states that do not follow it. So that's where you would find the settings for correcting your date and time here. So if we go back to our settings, I'm just keeping track of my notes here. Another big thing is ease of access. Now, some of us might have a hard time reading things on the screen, and you are able to make text bigger or smaller based on your needs. Now, right now, what I'm doing is I am making my text font bigger and smaller in my display section here under ease of access. And if you find one that works for you, make sure you click apply. So now I've clicked apply and it's now applied. So make everything bigger. So change the size of apps and text on the main display. It's set to 100% and it's recommended. So I'm going to leave that one. We're looking at what my settings are, and I think those look good. And these are the different ease of access available with Windows 10. We have a mouse pointer that you can change. You can make your mouse pointer bigger. My mouse pointer got bigger. You can make it smaller. You can make it look a different color. I can even change the text cursor. I can magnify parts of my screen. And right now I have the zoom level is set to default of 200% for zoom increments. And it has on here the quick shortcut keys of how you can magnify, make it bigger and make it smaller. So if you were trying to magnify, you do the Windows logo key. So on your keyboard, don't know if I can reach it here. So on your keyboard, so on my keyboard on the bottom left-hand side, so on my keyboard, bottom left-hand side, the third key in is the window key. So it looks like the window. It's kind of like the start button. And I would push that plus the plus button to turn on the magnifier. And then if I wanted to turn it off, I would do the Windows key plus the escape button, which is in the top left-hand corner of your keyboard. So I'm just looking to see what other things are on for magnifier. And it looks like they're all pretty simple. You can even have a narrator on your computer. And you can just go into ease and access and turn them on. So what it would do is then it would read to you what's on the screen. And you can choose a voice for your narrator. That's kind of cool. It looks like they have a Braille feature on here, but you would need to install some software for that. That's a new one. Let's see. And then for hearing, there's audio. Make sure your volume is up. Turn on mono audio. So that's making sure you're combining the left and the right audio channels into one channel. And then closed captions is also an option too. So making your device easier to use without sound by displaying audio as text. So right now we have ours set to default. And then for interaction, we have speech, where you can talk instead of type. So you're basically dictating to the computer what you want. For keyboard, you can use your device without a physical keyboard. You can control your mouse with a keyboard. And then eye control. This would require a supported eye tracking device. So if you would need special equipment, you would need to talk to your doctor or even an IT specialist. Those type of things, I could not tell you for sure what you would need. So I would speak to a doctor and then talk to an IT specialist where you purchase your own computer equipment. Let's see. Another important thing to know in your settings is where to go for updates. Updates for your computer are very important. You will always want to keep your computer up to date. You never want to let your computer become out of date. We keep our computers on a schedule for updates. So our updates run, think about once a week they'll run. If they're not going through, we do contact our IT specialist, and then he will either walk us through it or he will connect to our computer from his office and he will check on what's going on. So this is I went into settings and I went to, I'm going back a screen, update and security. So it's got two arrows going into a circle on my screen here. So this is where you would go for checking your updates. You want to make sure you download and install your updates and keep your computer up to date. It's always important to keep those updates up to date. And so those are your settings. Let's see, I'm going to exit out of this window. So a couple other things I would like to talk to you about. You might be wondering what this bottom bar is on the bottom of the screen here. So right where your start button is, we have a type here to search bar. So this would work for finding, say I want to find a file. So my name is Katie, so I have a folder, so I want to look for my folder. Oh, look at it, I can find my folder. So it's a search bar that allows you to find either applications, so your programs, your files, if you remember the name of them, images, you can search by that way. We have programs pinned to our taskbar. So this is our taskbar. And of course I have, these are the open applications that are currently open right now down here. And on the right-hand bottom part of my screen, I have a couple other icons down here. Of course, I have my time and my date. So I can check the date and the time. It's in hours, minutes, and seconds. And I have a full calendar here. And I can see more calendar, go further into the future and even into the past right here. If I don't know what's going on. To get out of it, I just click on the desktop. I, of course, can increase my volume or decrease the volume from here. I can check my internet settings right here, right next to the volume. So if you are connected to either Wi-Fi, which means you are not connected by a wire, so a wire connection, but you are connected wirelessly to your internet, you would go here to connect. I have other programs down here, other applications that I can go into. And those just kind of live there for us all the time. So you might be wondering, well, Katie, how can I create a folder on my desktop? Well, it's pretty easy to do. The easiest way to do it is I'm going to right click my mouse. So your mouse, my mouse has basically two buttons on it. So my index finger is to the left side of it. Let's see if I can get it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so my index finger is here. We'll go here. And my middle finger will go here. So when I am using my mouse, I will double click with my middle finger to have a little display box pop up like I just did on the screen. And what this is doing is it will show me that I can either view my icons. So my icons are also the folders, applications, documents, as either change their size to large, medium, or small. I can change how they're laid out on my screen. I can resort them. I can also create a folder here. So you would go down to New, Folder, and look at, I have a folder. As long as it's highlighted blue on the words, I can type in my new name for a folder. So I'm going to call this folder random. If I click outside of the box, Now I can add files inside of it. To add files to that folder, I am just going to, with my mouse and my index finger, click and hold down on the mouse with my index finger and drag the item inside the folder. So now that file is inside the folder. So I'm going to move something else over there. Let's see. This one. If I open up my folder, I now have 2 items in here. Oh, look at that. How cool is that? So again, to make a folder, I double clicked with my middle finger on the right side of my mouse, went down to New, Folder, and created a new folder, and I just gave my folder a name, made sure that this was blue. If you missed it and it just says new folder, that's okay. You can still go back and give it a name. What you're going to do, you can do it one of 2 ways. So I can right click it with my middle finger, so I have another dialog box pop up, and I'm going to go down to rename, so I can give it a name, folder, or I can click open the folder and go inside probably, so I can delete it in here. I can't rename it in here. So the easiest way to rename it is to double click it, rename it right here. If I accidentally made a folder and I didn't need a folder, make sure there's nothing in it though, because you would delete other things. I would delete it. So now it's gone. So if I wanted to take things out, I would click and hold with my index finger, pull them out, pull them out. I'm going to delete and delete. Okay, those 2 are now out of the folder. Now, say I would like to have an application, a program in easy reach so that when I want to find it, I can find it right away. I don't have to go to Start and search through this long menu. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I like to play games at home on my personal computer, or even I like to go and write letters or have open a chat box, such as Skype, some program, or even Paint. So what you're going to do is you're going to find the application you want to pin. So pin is you're going to save it to this area here or even to your desktop. So I'm going to find a program. I'm going to do Microsoft Teams. Whoops, hello, I opened it. Go to Microsoft Teams. I'm going to right click with my middle finger. I'm going to pin to start. Now it's right here. If I want to move it up, I can move it up. If I want to pin it to my desktop or even down to my taskbar, right click with my index finger, go to more, pin to taskbar. Because now it's way over here. So I'm going to move it where I can find it. Now it's easily accessible for when I open up my computer. There it is. How cool is that? All right. Now, say you would like to finish for the day, or your computer is being a little weird. You don't know what's going on and you need to restart it. All computers have a power button. It's always better to restart your computer or shut it down using your power button right here. Yes, you can use your power button on your actual power button on your device, but it is better to shut down your computer by pushing the power button. The power button will give you the option to shut down or restart. I'm not going to go that far, otherwise you're going to lose me. Okay. So you would hit the power button and then it will say shut down, restart, or cancel. Shut down will completely shut down your computer all the way. So it will not turn back on until you turn on the button on the outside of your computer to wake it back up. Restart will shut it down and the computer itself will turn itself back on. Okay? Does anyone have any questions for me? Any questions? If you have any questions when you're playing with your computer, feel free to send me an email and I will be more than happy to help you out. Thank you for joining me. My next tutorial will be on Windows Word basics on March 18th at 1:30. Thanks for joining me. See you next time.